Michael, do you want to start that discussion off?
Absolutely. We are going to commit to owning as much government as we can afford by setting to priorities and sticking with them. Our party's plan would be to balance the budget no later than 2017 or 2018. Dalton McGuinty has borrowed more money than any other premier combined. When McGuinty Liberals took office, Ontario's debt was about $146 billion. Today, it's nearly $300 billion. In just 8 years, he has spent more than all 23 premiers combined. In fact, that's about $11 billion a year it costs to service that debt, equivalent to what we spend on college and university. In fact, over the last 8 years, the private sector has struggled to grow by 10%, while government has grown by 88%. Again, we'll review all 630 agencies, boards, and commissions. We'll eliminate the LINs that are costing Ontarians $300 and providing no frontline health care. We'll scrap the Ontario Power Authority, which should have been a transitional body of 20-some people, has swelled to several hundred, most of them making over $100,000 a year. We simply cannot afford to sustain the spending that we've seen over the last 8 years. On top of that, we'll look for all other government ministries, aside from healthcare and education, to look for 2 cents in the dollar. We have to spend within our means. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Leanne, would you like to pick up on that debate about the deficit?
Thank you, Randy. I'd like to begin by a comment that says we have just gone through the worst economic recession since the Great Depression. We have made unprecedented investments in infrastructure, which has created thousands and thousands of jobs in Ontario. We have put people back to work. We have retrained people, and this costs money. When we invested in GM, Tim Hudak called it a handout. Now we see new jobs being created. Our auto industry became #1 in North America because of the investments the McGuinty government made in our auto industry. We're paying down the deficit faster than expected. We've already reduced the deficit by 43% since we emerged from the recession. We are $5.6 billion ahead of where we originally projected. And how we're doing that is we're finding major agencies have already delivered $200 million in savings. We're eliminating or merging 14 agencies, which is saving over $6 million a year in government. We're saving $600 million a year in the cost of generic drugs. And in our budget of 2011, over $1.5 billion introduced new savings. Thank you.
Mark, would you like to continue our discussion about the deficit?
Thank you very much. The NDP also has a plan to be on track with our balanced budget by 2017, 2018. And I know what, the typical book on the NDP is that, we're inherently fiscally irresponsible. Well, that's not true. The NDP actually, in this election, has the most modest spending proposal of the three parties. We plan to spend only $3.5 billion over our first 4 years, compared to the Liberals at 3.9 and the Conservatives at 5.9 billion. The NDP has never really believed in spending and living beyond our means, and we see that there is lots of government waste out there. We can pay for the programs and projects we want to provide to Ontario simply by cutting out waste, by ending the $1 million a day that's spent on consultants, saving us $365 million, by capping government salary CEOs and saving $80 million. We need to ensure that when money is budgeted for healthcare, it actually goes to healthcare and doesn't go to someone who doesn't provide frontline healthcare services. There's no real secret to balancing a budget. It's just spending what you have wisely and not wasting any money where it's inappropriate. Thank you.
Thank you.